All right, guys, to watch this video for Thursday, March 1st. Here's a reminder again, tomorrow night, 7:30. So 24 hours from right now, we'll be deep into our next free webinar, 40 things you'll never hear us say about day trading. A lot of education. It sounds like kind of maybe a silly topic, but it's going to be fun, it's going to be educational, and I'm definitely having drinks because this market almost mandates it. So anyway, get registered. Last night in the video, I said I would put the link down below, and then for the first couple hours, I forgot. So it will be in the description to this video down below, as well as a link to all of our free webinars, all of our other ones. This is the next one in line is for tomorrow night. Probably have the video out for Friday tomorrow shortly after the close. So you're going to get one more reminder about the webinar. But anyway, get registered. I think it's going to be fun. I definitely know it's going to be educational, and I'm definitely drinking. All right, so the SPY, another red day. If you go to the intraday, you can see how kind of ugly this got, right? It was holding up pretty well, right? Matter of fact, right here, looks like we're going to go red to green, take out the highs, and then look what happens. And then it's just off a cliff into the close. So interesting action to say the least. And let's go into the list for tomorrow. So NVAX, NVAX, had this big old tail today. Something was up. You could tell something was up. Anyway, I think they had good news in after hours because you can see it closed at 217 in after hours. Right now it's trading at 266. So all the way up above recent highs. So absolutely one to watch tomorrow. NIHD. You know what, this gapped up today, and I actually at one point thought it was going to rip even higher, but this is way ahead of itself. I said this in the video last night. I said it really shouldn't even really be on watch going into today because it was just so extended. Then it gaps up, and then never really got going, obviously. But I still think it's worth watching. It's made a really nice move from like 60 cents to almost $1.60. I'd like to see it come in another day and get down at least near the 8th day, but anything can happen. Absolutely worth watching starting tomorrow. LPCN. Man, I took a trade in this one today. I made a couple hundred in it, but nowhere near what I should have. And I had to leave before the market closed, or I might have had a nice afternoon trade. And if you look at the intraday action, I loved it right here. About 12 minutes into the session, red to green, high of day above. The gap up high just the day, from the day before, where a bunch of shorts came in and they were really in trouble if this takes out yesterday's high. So I got long right here. It popped up. I scaled out some, hoping for the big move, and then back down to my entry, and I'm back out because I'm all about defense first. Then in the afternoon, I kept pointing this out that, hey, this one, I wish this wasn't happening during lunchtime, but it might now take out the high and yesterday's high, which it did. Then pulled back, and then in that really weak close for the market, really strong close for LPCN. So even though I didn't make very much from it today, still deserves to be on watch going into tomorrow. Let's see, TEUM. If you picture kind of a trend line, just follow my mouse here. You picture kind of a trend line with the tops of these candles. Nice little break of the trend line today on extra volume. So we'll see if we get a follow-through day in that one tomorrow. AKRX, really, really beaten up stock. Nasty. I mean, this thing was over 30 bucks a couple days ago. It's been cut in half in 2 sessions. I'm not suggesting, because I don't know the news, I don't really know what's killing this thing, and I'm not suggesting that this is done going down. It is interesting that in very short order it took out really very clear support. Zoom in a little bit here at this $18 area after a big day yesterday. Anytime you get below clear support on a long-term chart and you get there in a hurry like this, down below this area, which is down here or anywhere down here, it's a great time to look for a snapback bounce. So even though, and it's a biotech, so even though this might have had horrendous news, it's also, the market never makes anything easy, right? So people think, okay, this is going to zero, and at some point it's extended to the downside, which to me it is already. But lazy shorts try to jump in after a couple nasty days and then just keep shorting, and at some point they're going to get their butts handed to them. It's just like chasing something long. You also shouldn't chase something short, and that's why you get nice snapbacks on stuff like this. You may or may not tomorrow. We'll see if it gives us a low-risk setup, but certainly worth having on a chart. CRC, let me zoom in a little bit here. Big 2 days down, from over 20 down to about 14 bucks. This is where it had support or bounced off of before. Again, kind of like that AKRX, worth watching for a snapback bounce. NXTD, another red day. You almost have the gap fill now. Still worth watching for a bounce tomorrow. PRGO, this one had the big day here, and now closing below the 200 day. I'd like to see a flush down below 80 and a snapback bounce. Nice support back here. And again, this would be another scenario where something's selling off and pretty quickly taking out recent lows. All these are worth watching for a bounce tomorrow. TTPH, I kind of like this one. You had this big pop here, then you had a red day and then right back up. I kind of like this one, and you have a whole number 3 that might come into play. So today's high was 295. I certainly like this through 3 tomorrow, knowing that the most recent high from yesterday was 310, and then you could get up into the gap. So I view like a break of 310 as another catalyst. Whole number breaks, if you've watched our Inflection Points webinar, the whole number 3 could come into play tomorrow. So I'll be watching for a break of 3 and see if we get a proper setup. That's interesting. MYO, I like this one a lot too. Earnings are coming out, I want to say within maybe a week or so. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's within a week. And you had a really nice volume day here. Great support below. So a nice breakout today. Again, you have another potential catalyst over this, but this is what it did after earnings last time. It was like $4, and then in earnings it actually pierced 11 the very next day. So I think this is kind of a pre-earnings run since this happened, even though it gave it all back. If I'm short, I'm a little scared. I really like this as a long with this little breakout, knowing what it did last time, and nice support below. Okay. Again, I'm only a day trader. I'm not looking to hold into earnings or anything like that. I'm in cash every night, so keep that in mind. Lastly, I have ATOS, which had a spike, then a lower high, and then today another lower high. I think maybe the market weakness made this close a little weaker than it should have, but I kind of like the trend line forming here. The extra volume today, certainly worth watching for a long setup tomorrow. That's all I have. Again, go to the description of this video and get registered for tomorrow night's Drinkinar webinar and happy hour. I don't know. I got to come up with a term for it. A drinking webinar. I don't know, but it's going to be fun. All right, so we'll see everybody tomorrow. Have a good night.